We started. Hello and welcome to another episode of TFB's Thinks. Once again, got a good episode today. We're joined by a couple of people. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Natasha.
Sammy again from Chook.
You again from Chook.
Once again, I want to remind everybody watching that what we're going to be talking about here is just our own personal opinions. It's not that TFB or any other group.
Yeah.
They're just our personal stuff. So just keep that in mind. Don't sue us, and let's have some fun. If you're watching, please send us a message.
Someone seen the message?
Yeah.
I'll
So
be
let's go ahead. Yeah. So let's just start off. We have four things on the agenda. Let's start off with extended drought conditions in Micronesia. So it seems like the drought's not over yet, although FSM lifted the emergency drought situation. It seems like it's not done at all. And we've been getting some good pictures from Palau rivers, like getting dried up. Pohnpei as well. Waterfalls are trickling now. They're not flowing anymore. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Droughts suck. They're scary.
Yeah. No doubt.
I've lived through one, like El Nino, when I was a kid in Pohnpei.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. It's not just like water. Water. It's such a used thing that you don't really think about it.
Yeah.
Food, drinking, showering.
That's a good point. Yeah. And then plants get affected.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then-
Crops.
And there's like no water to wash hands and stuff sometimes. So like,
Hmm.
and then the pipes are bad too, because it doesn't run so much that they get dirty.
Wow, I didn't think of that.
It's a very easy situation for like a cholera outbreak.
Oh yeah.
Jesus, Russ.
Which-
It's a big health issue. So it's scary.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping people are planning and conserving accordingly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People from home said that water bottles are starting to run out in stores.
Mm.
So like it's at that level now. Like we're running out of water bottles. Any thoughts? Anything you want to say? Or
Well, I remember last time you were talking to me about climate change and you were talking about typhoons.
right.
And I pointed out like there are other things that are more scary than a typhoon, like droughts. And the only reason why I know that is because I lived through them as well. At least two, like, I don't know, like it goes, well, when I was a kid, it wasn't so scary. We would swim in the river, but looking back, like that was a pretty scary time. And when I was a little bit older, we did have like a cholera outbreak and like restaurants get shut down. Large gatherings can't happen. So like graduations were canceled.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it becomes like a real thing that really halts this
Easter's
thing.
coming up.
Yeah, you don't realize, it's one of those things that you don't realize until it's gone. Access to clean water, it just affects so many things, especially on an island.
Right.
Yeah. So Pohnpei is really lucky because it rains so much and we have like these huge water tanks, but when it stops raining for just a few days, it just hits us so hard. And yeah, it's like, I don't know. I don't even know how it is on the smaller islands. Maybe they're
That's a good point.
more
Yeah.
I know,
accustomed
like,
to conserving
some
water.
islands, like when there is drought, they have coconuts and stuff to drink.
Mm.
But I think the bigger concern is like the other things that we use water for now.
Yeah. Hospitals.
Yeah. Just like cleanliness and
Sewage.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also gradual, like drought. Like it doesn't just happen overnight. Like we talk about typhoons, that'll happen in 1-2 days, and then it's gone. Then you can rebuild. But droughts, it's like
yeah.
it'll just come in.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's not like you wake up, oh, there's a drought. Like you don't know when it started or when it
Or
ended.
when it ends.
Yeah,
rather,
so it's-
Like it hasn't rained for 2 days, guys.
Like stay calm, wait for the second month.
Yeah, like
so-
the typhoon, you just gotta wait it out. Make sure you're
Right.
not out driving around and getting things dropped on you. But then
Yeah.
the drought, it's like, when is it gonna
Fire
end?
hazards.
Yeah.
That's another thing. There's some like fires going on at home in
In
Chuuk.
Chuuk, yeah.
Like the mountains are on fire now.
Did you see the video of Silky's Rock?
Oh yeah, that was on
That
fire
was
too.
scary.
I haven't seen it.
Brush fires everywhere.
It looked like the rock itself was like smoking and I mean, end
That
of
was
the
this
world
month?
kind of stuff. No, not this month.
Last month. That's still within the drought period.
I think that's when like things started escalating and
Okay.
people started asking more questions and like panicking started. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
it's interesting because why is it? Did Palau have some bad planning or what? They're just not following the.
Are they being informed?
Yeah.
I think Palau is more informed than the other islands. That's what I feel. I don't know if it's
Do
true.
you think tourism has to do with it? With more
That's a good
people
point, yeah.
going in and out?
Yeah, because if people come in, they want to have a vacation. They're not gonna like.
Yeah, you're not gonna
Like I'm not gonna.
conserve water.
This is their problem.
Yeah, I'm out of here next week. That could be it. That could be a problem.
Then wait till you go home and shower.
Any final thoughts?
Good luck out there, guys.
I know.
And please keep us informed so we can share.
Have
it
we
also.
had droughts this
Stay
bad?
cool. I heard it's really hot. Sorry?
I mean, in the past, like, have we had droughts this bad?
In my lifetime, there was a pretty bad drought.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was a young kid, we had to like ration water.
Boil your water, folks.
Yeah. Next topic. All right. Over the weekend, we had the Micronesia Festival. What was it? Celebrating Micronesia? Was that theme?
Celebrate Micronesia.
That was over here in Honolulu at the Museum of Art School. Yeah, Art School Museum. It was pretty good. It was fun. Had a lot of fun.
It was
Had a lot of people.
Pretty
show up.
awesome. Yeah. So let's just talk about it, Russ.
Well, first I want to congratulate the people that put it together.
No.
They had a really good turnout. A lot of interesting booths. The stuff they had inside for like the kids and stuff was pretty neat.
It seems like there were more people this year.
Yeah.
Is that just me or?
I wasn't here last time, so I'm not too sure. But
Okay.
Yeah,
Me too.
there was like way more. Like there was crowds. You had to like brush up against people while you're walking.
I know people showed up and left because there were just too many people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, then it seemed like there were a lot of tourists passing through too.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, there was just a lot of foot traffic. With
And-
other traffic.
Yeah. What was the most memorable thing for you?
Well, there's two things.
Okay.
I think one was just seeing all the people there because like a lot of people came from like the Big Island
Mhm.
and stuff like that. They came either to join or to perform.
Right.
Number two was actually one more thing. The second thing, there's a art installation on the second floor. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it.
It was pretty neat. It was a stick chart that they had on the ceiling with like stars on it.
Okay.
So it's kind of like constellations and stuff. It was kind of cool. I don't know much about art or stick charts, but
Mhm.
I thought it was neat.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I went up on the second floor in school. And then third was just some of the performances. Some of them were hit or miss for me.
You want to specify?
Well, like
You want to dig into that?
sure.
Mostly the misses.
Well, like a lot of the dances, like I don't know what they had to do with Micronesia.
Uh-huh.
Mhm. What do you mean, Russ?
why am I being singled out here? Well, okay.
Well, how about like the dancers themselves are Micronesian? How's that?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
That's cool. No, that's a good way to
That's
put
what
it,
they
though.
have
Yeah,
to do with it
Mhm.
being Micronesian.
yeah, I could totally see that. But I think part of like my apprehension was just if somebody was walking in
Oh yes.
just out of the blue,
absolutely.
and then
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, they're line dancing." Like,
So there was a performance where they did a country line dance.
yeah, like
Okay.
they had cowboy hats and stuff, and it was
Right.
cool. Like, it was a good performance. But I think under the Celebrate Micronesia
Right.
thing, I'm just not sure.
It was the right venue for that.
So you were expecting more traditional dances. I think
I
a lot of
was.
people
I
were.
was too.
Yeah.
And there were some.
There were few.
Yeah.
A lot fewer than.
But that's just me personally. Like some of the dances are just a little too.
Contemporary.
I don't know. Like
I'll say something.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. If you under the banner of celebrate Micronesia, I don't think it was the right place for those dances. But then if you really look at it, like I think it was more of the atmosphere than the actual performances. Like the overall atmosphere of the place felt very much like home.
Mhm.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it felt like we had a gathering and then like one family brought a performance and another family
yeah.
brought a performance, right? That's what it felt like to me. But but if I was not from Micro, if I was from let's say Europe
Yeah.
or the mainland and I just walked into that and then I saw a banner that said celebrate Micronesia and then I saw people doing like someone said Zumba
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then hip hop and then line dancing and then they'll be like I don't understand what's Micronesia, what's the culture.
People.
Yeah, that's
But then that's
Okay.
something that we should talk about.
exactly because then if someone just walks through it they would understand what the hell is going on,
Yeah.
right?
So
But-
is it for them or is it for the people?
Exactly.
Okay.
So like I don't know, it was more like Micronesian celebrating.
So were
Yeah.
you embarrassed? Were you embarrassed for like
Ooh.
who were you
Strong
embarrassed
word.
for? Oh, I'm
Whoa.
sorry.
Were you
No.
embarrassed?
Honestly, yeah, there was a bit of embarrassment.
Okay.
Like I felt like we could probably showcase something more traditional, something that would fit,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
And then this is a museum of art school. But then I don't know, it bothered me initially when I was there, but then afterwards I was like people had fun, you know, and then
Yeah.
the whole point of getting together is to celebrate, right?
You remember
I
when
don't know.
the Marshallese did their beat? The ladies came up
Yeah,
and they
the
danced,
march.
and then all the people started dancing with them
Right,
too.
yeah.
That was like I think that was a good one. 'Cause,
That was a
like,
great one,
You
yeah.
see that in the Marshall Islands all the time, and a lot of people joined in.
And Palau as well.
Yeah, and then I think that's the kind of thing that we want to show.
And
Yeah.
in Pohnpei, that's just in our DNA. Like
Yeah.
you hear a beat and you
But-
start,
Right.
and
But
if you
that
see your
dance
relative,
itself-
you gotta go support
That
them.
dance itself has
Yeah.
like, it's not.
There's a history there.
Yeah.
And what is the history, Russell?
Well, it's not. It's an Irish jig, right? Like
I don't know. What are you talking about? Are you talking about the?
when the old lady came
The
out and they were
robot.
doing. No. They had a keyboard and stuff, and they were playing the music. I mean, those are Marshallese words, and the music's probably made by Marshallese, but that whole thing was introduced.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the style of dance was introduced, and then it became
Yeah.
theirs.
Yeah, there was
Pretty much.
yeah, there was that line dancing. There was
Like
a jitterbug.
superbug,
Yeah.
Right.
The marching
But
dance.
to me, those are so Micronesian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
They became
when the
Micronesian.
songs
Right.
come on and you're like, oh, what language is that? It's Spanish or it's Indian.
Right.
It's like, oh, it's typical. That's
Or it's-
I mean, because really it's the beat is what it's about. And it is weird to people who are unfamiliar with
Mhm.
Micronesia to see it happen. But for me, it was so familiar and it was so nice. It reminded me of home. Like when we have our Women's Day celebration in Pohnpei, that's what
That's what
they do. You march in, you have rows. There's something cultural. It has to be in that, yeah, for real.
Yeah.
And it's just been updated, I guess. And what I think you guys are looking for, like the traditional stuff.
Mhm.
I was trying to like think who really has that kind of knowledge, and is
Yeah,
it stereotypical
it's
to
running
think
out.
that because you're from this
You
place,
know
you
that.
know the dance?
Right. Right.
Yeah, if you asked me to perform, oh my God, I would read poetry or something because I wouldn't know. But like that, this is what they know how to do. And I really admire them for showing up that day and
Yep.
and getting up in front of those people. Like, I wasn't even doing that. So even though they were doing things that aesthetically for me were a little, were very questionable. At the end of the day, I give props and I hope that they're excited and proud of what they did. And I think next year, all of our like critique of it will make it something even more impressive. And yeah, perhaps incorporate more.
I kind of
things.
agree there because like this is stuff that and you're right. Like if it was back home, like, it's perfect. I'm just worried about us being out here. We're just like appropriating
Other people's culture.
Yes, and we're worried about what they're gonna say
Right,
because I mean,
Yeah.
It's like the performance. We had to explain it. You know, if it has to come with an explanation, then I don't know. It's difficult because the way that I define culture, me personally, is if it's been passed on from a previous generation, then it's culture.
Mhm.
Like that's my own way of looking at it. Like, so like if you have a line dance that was passed on to you from the generation before you, I consider that culture,
Mhm.
right? But like if you just picked it up yourself and then you started it, it's a fad. Like it's something that you do. And I'm not gonna call it culture.
Mhm.
Not
But-
yet.
Not yet. I don't think it's time. It's too early to be called culture. Once it's been passed on, once it's considered part of your family, your community, and then you respond to it. Like if someone does it, then you remember like your people,
Mhm.
then that becomes a part of your culture.
I will agree with you on that. But in defense of the line dancing,
Okay.
with the planning of this event, they were just like
Anything.
willing to
Yeah.
take anybody to do anything. Like it didn't even have to be like Micronesian.
You know, and I think part of it too
Like
is
just you are Micronesian and you wanted to do something, then do it.
we finally
So-
have a festival.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like this was our day.
Not
and
finally, but
if you wanted to line dance, then line dance. And
So is it okay? So let me pose a question. then.
Uh-huh.
So like, let's say, so what makes it okay is if you're a Micronesian and you want to do any performance, then just do it.
I mean, this was our opportunity
Mhm.
to do something if you
I
wanted
think-
to.
Would it be different if it was like someone who was not Micronesian, but they performed a traditionally Micronesian performance?
Whoa, would that even happen?
it could have potentially we did it.
We
but
did
just
something like
reverse.
that, yeah. So if someone did
Ah.
so if someone did that, would you think that would be appropriate for the
Like-
festival? Like, let's say a
Okay.
bunch of Europeans learned how to stick dance, right? The Tokyo, and then they went there and then they performed it.
Mhm.
Like, would you say, oh yeah, you can perform in our festival? Is that okay? Do you guys feel comfortable with that?
I think you're supposed to feel comfortable with
You're
that.
supposed to, but do
Yeah.
you?
Sure. I mean, theoretically,
Okay.
rhetorically speaking, yes, of course I would.
I don't know. That's the way I'm looking at it. I'm trying to look at it through everybody's perspective under
Yeah.
all lenses, right? So like,
Right.
And I gotta point out that some of those dances though, they were performed by a lot of younger people.
that's a good
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're the whole new generation, and
Mhm.
I'm not. I don't know if there's like someone from the last generation that was like, you guys gotta do this dance. Or they wanted to do something, so
Mhm.
I also feel like it was kind of last minute put together, so that was reflected
I did
in
feel that. Yeah.
the quality of some of their like costumes, probably not costumes. I should say costumes, but
Their outfit.
Outfits.
yeah. So I think that's also a cultural thing. How people do not step up until the very last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully.
I just want to like remind, like we're just talking about the dances now. It's not really about the celebration itself, because
Right.
I think that was really good.
Mhm.
There was
Yeah.
2 days to it too, not just
Yeah.
yesterday.
The performances were on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today there was the Women's Day.
Celebrate women. Yeah.
and our good friend over here is there, so he has this very nice lei. You want to tell us about what happened over there?
Well, it was pretty much like a conference style where a lot of the women in the community making changes in the community are there to talk about things that they wanted to share. So we had one of our keynote speaker was the consul general from the Marshall Islands. She spoke. She started off, and I was actually the only male presenter today. They also had the group from Mad Moms talking about the progress and how it's been spreading over in the region.
What's Mad
Yeah.
Moms?
Mad Moms it's a
March.
Mile a day moms where they walk a mile a day for 41 days consecutively, and it's like a challenge that they started. So if you don't do it consecutively, your days reset. You gotta start 41 days from that day that you missed. So, and we saw a lot of good before and after photos during the presentation, and
Oh,
one
yeah.
that really stood out to me was this lady. I
Wait,
forgot
before
what-
and after of.
of like before the
On
before
like
the
day
challenge.
0, and then
Oh.
or like the long term
Okay, got it.
transformation of that 1 mile a day.
Because
challenge.
part of it is documenting it, like
Gotcha.
Yeah.
pictures.
A lot of them posted on Facebook and really encouraging the other communities. And the most recent group in this Mad Mom is the Palau community. So Palau just recently started. TFB, Kostride, Shuk, they're being really active.
Mhm.
But yeah, so one of the stories that really stuck to me was I forget where she was from, but prior to this challenge, she was diabetic. A lot of doctors are saying, it's not really good for her. And after, I forgot for how long, maybe like a year or so, she lost a lot of weight from this challenge, and now it became like her new lifestyle. She changed her diet as well, and now she no longer has diabetes, and it's the doctors saying like the improvement's really, really dramatic.
That's nice. Yeah.
So
Congratulations.
there's that. We had a couple of talks about, because there were, a lot of them are moms and aunties, right? Everyone had kids. So one of the presenter was talking about funding college and what they can do in the future,
Nice.
what kind of scholarship opportunities is there out, and yeah, so there was that. And I was talking about how to use a smartphone.
How do you use a smartphone?
Like, just talking about the basics and the fundamentals, but
Okay.
I think it was a really good, even though I had to leave earlier because we had to do this podcast, but the turnout was really good. We probably had about 30 to 40 people easily. People from Hilo, students from Hilo too was there, part of the whole event. And I think this was a really good turnout. Last year they did a student conference.
Right.
So this year they took a different approach in which they made the Women's Day celebration.
It is International Women's Day was just
Yeah.
a
This
couple
month,
weeks ago. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Good. But yeah, good celebration.
Yeah. Good
Congrats
weekend.
to everybody that had a hand in that. I know
Yeah.
saw Jojo out there.
Yeah.
Wow. A lot of people. Good to
Yeah,
see a lot of
Oceania,
people. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, good job, everybody. Thank you so much.
It was fun. Yeah. And I think, like, I said a lot of bad stuff. But I just want to say, like, it felt Micronesian.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
if anything, like, yeah, like
Yeah.
kids running around,
Right.
Yeah.
familiar faces, people sitting on the grass. Like, I haven't sat on the grass in a long time. Like, I forgot we could do that.
Yeah, the
And then-
dancing was like one small
part of
aspect,
it.
Yeah, like,
but it's getting a lot of publicity because people whip out their phones to record things that are kind of funny
yeah.
and they share it,
Yeah.
especially.
You get
Yeah.
that funny uncle running on the stage.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's my auntie. I gotta film this,
Yeah.
and so it's getting shared, and
Mm.
they're only seeing that. They're not seeing the wonderful booths that were up.
Right, yeah.
I learned so many things.
Even the smells.
I
man.
bought artwork.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the set
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
I
Some
bought
good artwork
really
there.
good-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the skirts were up for sale over there.
Marshallese
Yes.
handicrafts.
Yes.
Um,
There was chicken calibre.
that was one thing I wish there were more local food.
Yeah.
Did I say? I mean,
Yes.
chicken Calvin. That was Firehouse people, the Chamorro food truck guys
I
that
would-
came down.
Are you saying that's not Micronesian?
No, I'm saying
Or
it's
he wants
Micronesian,
more.
but That was the only thing. The other food booth was a
Okay.
burger joint,
But
What-
which was not a bad thing.
people
but-
weren't
There was a
allowed to
burger
bring
joint?
food though, right?
What?
Why wasn't there food?
You know,
'Cause that's
I was
one
in the
huge
planning
part of our
committee.
culture.
That's a
Right.
good point.
Yeah,
but-
I was there too.
I missed the ones like there were 2 meetings before the ones I went. Apparently, they were tasting,
Tasting-
food.
Oh, so you had to like kind of
Had to go
present
to a
something
taste
for the.
test?
No, they I guess the spot, the restaurant on University.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have a lot of Chuukese guys working there, so I guess they whip up some local food from there since it's already under the spot. So, and they got the food permits and everything to go and do the catering part.
Right.
But so the 2 meetings before I was in, they said they had some food tasting from them, and not many people were too happy about it.
They didn't like it.
I don't know who was there for the tasting, but
That's
I wish I was
interesting.
there. You know, local food. They have different taste buds.
So they had to.
Who is on the committee?
They had to pass.
I mean, obviously the director of art school, or museum of art school, and a couple other people, but the planning meetings that I've been to was about half Micronesian, half the Micronesia.
What didn't they like about the food?
I have no clue. Maybe
What
all
was
they
the
said
food?
was it didn't taste that great.
Uh,
I wonder what it was.
Interesting.
I really want to
there,
know.
I don't really
but
like the
I've
spot,
been to
so-
a movie, and I feel like maybe
The planning committee.
it wasn't. I think it might be taken out of context right now. No, they were really great. But I'm not talking about catering food. I'm talking about why weren't people able to sell food or
Oh, like
sell
have a
was,
booth to sell food.
and
was
was
a
it the food permit
permit
thing?
thing.
I see.
Because that's unfortunate because I don't want to eat something that was catered by the spot. I want a pie from a Kashayan auntie.
Yeah, like and
Or
something like
they
auntie
had
made.
Kashayan food there, but I don't think they were selling it. And I feel uncomfortable being like, can I have some of yours?
Please, sir.
I would pay money for food from back home, like made by people. That would be really good. I was also like, sakao. I don't drink sakao, but I maybe would have tried it if it were being
I think-
demonstrated.
That's a good point. That's definitely something that was missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you celebrate, you gotta have food. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also the planning, like the
Yeah.
lack of time, people
Okay.
didn't really. I don't know.
I just don't think they could have had the permits.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well,
you gotta like pay for that stuff, right?
And I think these people who are participating, like they're busy people. I think they
Yeah.
work and.
Yeah.
I think the reason why they didn't commit, a lot of people didn't commit, is because you don't know your work schedule. I mean, it's not like back home where you're like, oh, I gotta do this and it's really important. Here it's like, can I get this day off? I don't
Yeah.
really know. Yeah, so
Right.
I don't know. But it's the second time it's happened, and I just think it's gonna get better.
yep.
Yeah.
We'll learn from it.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Like, we're kind of critiquing some of these performances, but and all this other stuff. I think there's just room to grow, and I think
Yeah.
we could see this like getting really bigger. Like,
Mhm.
I know, like in other states, they have like all these huge cultural festivals and stuff.
Right.
So you just
Yeah.
Festpack is happening in a couple
This
months.
summer.
Yeah, this summer
May.
in Guam.
I wish someone paid for a ticket to go.
I really appreciate the people who did this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had a good time.
I mean, every year it seems to be getting better and better too.
Yeah.
So this is only our third festival, I believe.
Third one that we know
Or
of
Yeah.
on this
I don't
island.
know.
Yeah.
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 So I mean, it's getting better than every year. So
Mhm.
hopefully next year we'll see more. They're talking about possibly featuring short films made by local people.
Ooh.
So they'll have like a submission deadline to submit a short film next
Mhm.
year.
Micronesian Film Festival.
Yes.
bad.
There was supposed to be a film festival.
Yeah, but that didn't fall through either.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I volunteered for that, and it didn't happen. It's okay,
yeah.
because HIF is starting.
Yes.
Soon.
HIF is in October, I believe.
No, it's in
There's a
April.
spring-
I mean, spring one and the big one is yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for the Micronesian Festival.
Yes.
Everybody came down from Big Island. Hope to see you guys again. But
Yes.
let's keep this
Let's move on.
this show going.
Go on.
Yep.
Okay. So the next topic, what's his name? Ban Ki-moon, Secretary General, United Nations. He's recently made a comment about how some countries don't have any women in their legislative branch,
Mhm.
any women lawmakers. And I think he said that is an injustice, right? And I believe there was an article that had a list of some countries, and
Mhm.
FSM popped up on that list of countries that have no
Yeah.
women lawmakers. And that's true. What do you guys think? Do you think this is an injustice? Is this systemic? What's going on? What do you think about Secretary General's comments?
We'll let you start. You got something
Oh,
to say.
when I read that article, I was like, "Ooh!"
You didn't like
I was
it?
like, "Yeah!"
Oh.
No, I loved it. I loved it. Thank you. Thank you for saying that and saying it in such a humongous forum. It's so true. Yeah, I don't know what to say. What else to say about it?
Kind of like embarrassing a little bit.
Yeah, it's
Because like the marshals,
yes,
like a bunch of,
and
and the president,
Head of state,
President, yeah.
and,
And
Palau
Palau,
has had it. We're just
Yeah.
we're just there. We haven't had. I don't know. But it's good to also add that we are trying, and evidence of us trying is there was a bill introduced. I'm talking about FSM here. There was a bill introduced to allow to create 4 extra seats in Congress, 1 seat to each state, and it's only for a woman from each state.
Okay, wait. So I understand.
Okay.
They're gonna create extra seats.
4 extra seats.
Okay.
So we have
but only
how many
open to women.
Yeah,
Okay.
one from each state.
Okay.
So 1 from Chu, Yap, and 1 from Pushra, 1 from.
So they're not replacing, but
Yeah, we're not replacing.
So it's like an extra at large.
Yeah,
Okay.
4 at-large seats.
Then I retract what I said
Okay.
because I don't think that's a good idea.
You don't think that's a good idea?
No.
Mhm.
Because I think there are already enough people there.
Seats.
Yeah. Instead, make one of those that we have already established a place for a woman.
Wait.
So they
Don't create like more politicians.
but it's already
I'm sorry.
open to them.
What do you mean?
Like
To
a
women.
woman
Yeah.
can
I
run
know.
for.
Okay, so make one of those seats only
Just
for a woman.
Permanently a woman.
Yeah, like it has to be filled by a
Interesting.
woman.
Interesting.
Not create another paying job that will fund another.
So which
No,
which
I
state
would
will
like
get the
big
woman, or will it
government.
rotate?
What do you mean? We're just
Because if how are we gonna vote? Because
You're gonna only have 4. Like there's
will-
only 4 at large seats,
Okay.
right? And one of them has to be a woman, and there's 1 seat for each state.
it will always be a Chuukese woman.
Okay, I don't understand
Because
of the
how
voting.
it'll work. But I thought what you meant like
They want to
okay,
create.
how many people represent like each?
There's 4 at large seats for 4
Mhm.
There's
One for each state.
for each state, and then there's
State. So
there's
one.
representatives for like per population of each state.
Right.
So like how about one of the 4 be
Uh,
held by a female?
So which
Okay,
state are you
interesting.
gonna
And even
make?
one by one anyway.
Or
Yeah.
So 1 district will be only women.
I have no idea.
That's crazy, Russ.
No, because
I don't know the logistics of how to
because each state in the FSM gets 4 at-large seats. Those are what? How long?
4 years, I
4
think.
years, and then there's a bunch of other 2-year seats, right?
Okay.
I
Is it?
don't remember.
Okay, but
Yeah.
it depends on the size of the state and the population, and they
Mm-hmm.
get so many extra seats in the Senate.
Mhm.
But you're saying one of those seats in the whole entire legislature should just be reserved for a woman?
One from each state.
So
I mean, not. I'm not.
So 4 seats?
Yeah.
so 4
So-
seats only for women. So does that mean
mean-
that the other seats are only for men, or it can be open to women also?
Dude, this is not even my idea. I didn't
We're
like
just
that.
interested in your idea.
I
Yeah.
didn't like the
'Cause
idea of creating an
Extra
extra
seats.
one because that I feel like is a little too much.
I feel like they had this discussion and then they said, let's just create 4 extra seats.
Yeah, because
So
Yeah.
do you still not want to create 4? You're saying,
Ugh.
but to make some of the other ones that are already available.
I think
only
it's the
women?
wording that's bothering me. How
Yeah.
about we say
yeah.
eliminate one and replace it with a woman?
Because
Because I don't want to create. I don't want to create any extra like.
extra funding.
Yeah, I think we have too big a government as it is. I don't
Okay.
know,
Hmm.
and I feel like
This is rough. Maybe we should count like
this is huge.
a woman's vote as 2 votes.
No, I don't agree with that.
Well,
either.
I think that's part of the issue with that legislation that you brought up, though. It's logistically, financially, how are they going to fund
Extra seats.
4 extra
Yeah.
seats
exactly.
for that? But
So
then,
don't create 4 extra.
but then,
But then you get into the problem of then how do you vote?
how are you
for
going to make? Which seat are you going to make only for women? And then you're going to have a lot of issues with that,
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't
and you're going to have to like change the whole constitution and stuff.
Yes, you'll have to.
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, it's tough, but
So that's why they wanted to create 4 extra seats.
I guess yeah. Oh yeah, that's definitely it. But then it's crazy because like I was talking to people about this, and then one gentleman said that it's unfair, right?
It's
Because
sexist.
yeah, it's sexist to men because the seats that are there now
Are
are
already-
already available to women. But then I was saying like
they are not.
yeah, exactly. Like they are open to women, but it's not gonna happen under
No, it
Since-
isn't.
the
We're talking about sexism.
yes. We're talking about oppression, discrimination.
How sexist is our government?
I don't think our government is sexist.
You know,
I mean,
Is it the people?
our politics,
it's our culture.
our culture is okay.
I said it.
guess.
Yeah, the way our culture is sexist. because the government is not set up. Like, you look to the government, I don't think there's, look to the laws.
What
There
about
is
the
no
Marshall
law.
Islands?
What about?
We'll see. And then, like, even that's interesting because how was she elected? Was it like, did people vote for her? Did she campaign? Or was it like a.
Presidency and marshals, I believe it's just
Kind of like
It's the
voted
same.
within
Yeah.
the
the Senate,
Senate.
It's the same, yeah.
Oh.
People vote for the senators,
Yeah.
and then
and
the
then the senators vote for the
Yeah.
president.
It's the same as FSM. But the thing about that is, it's there's nothing wrong with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just that right now, the way we look at women culturally
in the FSM.
in the FSM, the way we look at women culturally is I don't know, it's not progressive enough. You know, we're still thinking, we're still under the impression that women are not, that's no place for a woman.
Yeah.
Right. Especially for Chuk. Yes, I said it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. And then, so the problem is not our politics. It's not our laws, it's not our government, because it's very open. It's the people. We need to change this mindset. We need to change the way we think. There needs to be a cultural revolution, right? Some kind of a renaissance for us.
It's
It needs-
2016.
Yeah. But if I could throw in an example,
Okay.
yeah, during a gubernatorial debate, I won't say the name of the person, but if you look it up, you'll find out.
In Chuk?
Yeah, in Chuk, the moderator opened the floor for questions, and then a lady had a question. She asked the question, and before the candidates could answer, the moderator said, "You know, this is no place for a woman." And then, and then he also said that in the Bible, the man was created before the woman, so men are first. This is not a place for you. So they just disregarded her question, and she went. She probably left the
my
place.
God.
And this was
Embarrassing.
broadcasted on the radio station, right? So
Oh, lady.
that's politically incorrect. Like you're silencing a voter's voice, right?
Yeah.
Politically, that's wrong, but culturally, now we get into another discussion. Was that a cultural issue or was that a religious issue? Because he mentioned the Bible, right? So now
It just gets worse and
It gets-
worse.
yeah. So like the reason why they wanted to create 4 seats, it's not because the system is broken, the government is broken. Not necessarily. It's the culture, like the way we think, the mentality is broken, and we need to do something radical
Yeah.
to start the discussion of fairness and equality. And that's why
It's not going to happen organically on its own within like the next few years or whatever.
I don't
Yeah,
think so.
it's not.
Definitely not in Chuk.
Yeah.
So make sure
That's
religion
crazy.
and culture is just the worst kind of oppression that women can get back home right now.
But then we get into this discussion that we've had every
Many times,
podcast. Like, is this gender inequality? Is it cultural, or is it something that was introduced? Because obviously, in that specific case, that was a religious injustice,
Yeah.
right?
So obviously he's very religious.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
very
Maybe.
political. He's just using that.
Yeah.
So-
Maybe it was a great question, and then like he was like, no, let's
Like,
not
I
have
know what
that.
she's gonna ask. I got this.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I was
And that's
shocked.
gonna like silence
Right.
any woman from ever even thinking of
Oh,
saying something.
that's
Yeah,
deep.
that. Oh,
But yeah, you see what happened there was because that was a public venue, and this courageous woman had the guts to go up there and ask that question, and then she was silenced like that. What does that tell? And nobody objected
Stood
to
up
that.
to her,
Yeah,
yeah.
no one stood up to her. I don't even know who that lady is. I don't even know what the question is. So then the question and the woman were taken out of that.
Wait, so how did only that part got out?
What do you mean, like the
About
lady?
the moderator's statement towards the lady.
He was on the radio.
He was on the radio.
But how did the question not get on the radio?
No, it was there. It's just that no one's talking about it.
Oh,
Like no one is even thinking about. No one talks about the lady. No one talks about the question, and everybody thinks that was okay. It was okay for him to say and do that. And then I was pretty shocked A lot of people were shocked as well, but people aren't talking about it. So
Well, it's good that we're talking about it now.
yeah, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And you see, like this, adding 4 extra seats, that's, you said it can't happen organically, and then
No,
that's
it's not.
why like our leaders know it won't happen organically.
Mm.
So they're doing this. They're forcing us to start thinking in the right direction. Say force. But anyways,
I retract my
Start, yeah.
retraction.
Well, our viewers out there, if you have any thoughts on this, please feel free to comment or
yeah.
send us some comments or questions right now. Or
Mhm.
if you're watching this
Ladies,
later,
especially.
you can always join in our conversations.
I'm sorry if I could talk. You brought up Mad Mom.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say too. I mean, it's not just in the political level that we see
not.
this.
Yeah.
It's on our. I mean, even in our daily life.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mad-
say
Yes.
Mad Mom.
Yeah, Mad Mom Chuk, Maladay, they have that in Chuk. So there was also another gentleman who objected to that, and then
Was he a politician too?
I'm not gonna say.
Okay.
Possible. Yeah. So this person objected to it, and he said that women shouldn't be out on the streets. They shouldn't be wearing workout outfits. They should be at home. You know. So I don't know. Again, I go back to it's the people aren't ready, and we have to do something radical, something. I don't know. We have to do something to start talking about this. Let's at least talk about it, and that's why we have this thing going on.
Mhm.
Hopefully, we'll keep talking about it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry.
It seemed like you did, but you're just shocked by the.
There was nothing right about what he was saying, in my opinion, and I think in any female's opinion. And it's so shocking to hear that because I know about Mad Moms and it's great and amazing. And obesity is a problem
Right.
at home, and this is more successful than anything that I've seen in the past. And it's been doing such wonderful things, and like a woman shouldn't be allowed to leave her house to exercise.
Oh
I
yeah.
think that's kind of shocking. You can't just walk in public. Like you can't.
You can't walk in public to
Like-
exercise.
And then, but the part of the thing you're saying was like their outfits.
Yeah. A big part of it is their outfits. Like they wear
Okay.
tights. Yeah. Workout
So
outfits.
is it okay if they do it in a skirt?
Like
For the
wear
most part,
tights and skirt over
yes.
it?
But it's like I think the sense that I'm getting is it's not okay. But if you have to do it, at least wear a skirt
Skirt.
or a dress or a muumuu.
Mm.
Right? You shouldn't be wearing those kind of outfits in public to begin with.
2016.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't know.
That's
It yeah.
Depressing.
well. I'm glad we're talking about this now.
Mhm.
I really want to ask our viewers out there watching, please comment and share this.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you
'Cause
guys
it's
think?
really
Share
important
away.
that people are talking about it.
Maybe we're wrong. Maybe
Yeah.
women should be at home. I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah, let's start having this conversation more.
Ah,
But
I don't even know where to begin. I don't know.
Let's begin with the next
It's
topic.
hard to believe. It's just hard to believe.
It is very hard to
I
believe.
feel so bad for my sisters and friends out there who are experiencing that.
well, do you think there are some pockets in Micro that it is a safe place for, not safe place, but women have more freedom to move around?
Palau.
I'm not just talking about walking, but like to ask questions or to have these
Mm.
positions and in FSM
Yeah.
specifically.
Oh,
It's definitely not true.
yeah.
And I mentioned religion, and I still think that's
Big.
most of this oppression towards women is religious based, and I think a lot of it was introduced.
What about like the Women's Council and those other women's groups?
It exists, but does it have power? I don't think so. I don't
No.
think it has that much power.
I mean, wasn't there that the Chooks Women's Council? I forgot when it was, but they had a gathering, but then it ended up with one the male was leading everything, and
Oh, really?
I don't. I mean, I heard this from someone.
It's nuts.
Yeah, but it wasn't about women after all. It just turned into a regular
It's interesting.
man talking about stuff.
What about you? You ever experienced something, heard stories, some similar situations back home? When, not recently, doesn't have to be recently, but
Well, I mean, in Koshai, it's the same as well.
Mhm.
Like, for the longest time, you're not supposed to wear shorts
Mhm.
out. Although for me, I always did because I never lived in Koshai. It was only like for short vacations. And
how about in Pohnpei?
Point B, I feel like women are definitely more empowered.
Do you think it's a cultural thing or is it a religious thing?
I think the religion exacerbates it. So definitely in Koshai, there's a very strong religious component
Mhm.
that isn't as obvious in Point B.
Right.
Yeah, like
It seems like the states that are more religious are more
Yeah.
like keen to do this to their
I think
women.
you can say that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's, for me, that's a big problem.
I mean, if we're really looking at it on like a cultural level,
Mhm.
I feel like women gets more respect if anything. Because I mean, if you think about it, it's matrilineal to begin with. A lot of
You're talking about culturally.
yeah,
Or traditionally.
if we look at it in that way, I mean, women has, believe it or not, I feel like women have more power in terms of what gets passed on.
Social situations.
Yeah, and like if you marry into a family, it's always the man going into the women's house
Mhm.
or the women's family, and
The man goes to the women's
The
family.
clan.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. It's
Culturally. Okay.
that's why I go back to like I think a lot of this sexism was introduced because during the time that America came into FSM, that was the 50s. And the 50s was not a good place
Yeah.
for women in the
Mhm.
US. Like the office is for the man, the woman stays at home, cooks.
Mad Men.
Yeah, that idea, right, came from America. And then, but America gradually progressed. There was this movement, and then that idea changed. But that idea stuck in FSM in some states in FSM, and we still carry that out,
I
I
think
think.
it goes back even further
Yeah.
with the missionaries when
Yeah.
they started to like
Cover
like
them
put
up.
a like yeah try to
Say it.
like remove like I don't know like they
Like,
covered people
especially
because they're
especially
trying
like the
to
Protestant.
because sex
Yeah.
and because sex was so taboo.
Right.
And so of course who is the more well okay for like a female is she would be appealing to
Right.
a man.
And that's
that is-
and that's her fault.
That is her responsibility.
How dare you arouse me?
Yeah, like-
That's the idea.
If I think something, of course, you're the one who put it in my head. So
That's-
that originated from the
Yeah.
missionaries who came in and were like, "Whoa, you gotta cover this
Yeah.
up because that's bad and it's your fault."
Mhm.
And
Because the Bible was written by men.
yes, every single book in the Bible was written by a man.
Yeah.
No woman wrote a book in that Bible. I don't even think like okay. Anyway,
Anyway,
so yeah, it goes even
it's deep, man.
back further to that where you start like shaming women for their
Yeah.
their bodies.
Yeah.
For being a woman.
For being a woman.
Yeah. And then yeah.
You had something.
No, I mean, yeah, I was gonna say like the whole concept of clothes was nothing. I mean, it wasn't something of ours to begin
Right.
with, and then it's just crazy to think that the things that got pushed onto us is now like something that the Americans are saying, no, you guys shouldn't think that way.
Yeah, we embrace something they introduced to
Yeah.
us from the past. Now they're trying to introduce something else, and we're not going to embrace it because we already embraced something introduced to us from the past.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. It's going back to that Mad Mom thing. Like there was a lady that said, "You don't want me to wear these, so what do you want me to wear?" And then they're like, "Wear something cultural, something traditional, like a muumuu." Like, why don't I go even more cultural? I'll just go topless. You want me to run around topless?
Real,
You know, and I was like, yeah. So
it's because of the sex taboo thing.
yeah,
Yes.
that sex taboo thing was introduced,
Yes, it was.
and
It
I'm totally on your side.
Also found out that Mad Moms reach as far as to Wolai too.
Oh, yeah.
That's
So
The internet,
cultural.
man.
It's only like a
Facebook.
mile long.
Jeez.
Whoa, that is so cool.
You can swim a mile, I guess.
Oh, that's harder.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's cool though.
I love swimming. I really do.
It is.
All right. This is a good conversation, but I think we got to move on to the
Yes.
next topic. Sorry.
Let's go to the last one. University of Hawaii, they're getting funding for cervical cancer research, $5.5 million to research cervical cancer in FSM. FSM because it has one of the highest rates of cervical cancer per capita.
Mhm.
And one of the reasons that they posed was because of culture. So this
We were
ties
just
into
talking
our,
about it.
yeah, we were
We
just
were
talking
talking
about
about
it.
this.
It
Okay,
ties
great.
into culture, like not being able to have the sex
The
talk.
talk.
Yeah, so you can't talk about it. You can't mention any of those parts. You know, that's taboo. What do you guys think?
Well, okay. Just really quickly.
Yeah.
So, cervical cancer is
Yeah, I didn't know what that was.
transmitted. It's a virus, and it's a sexually transmitted virus, and it's a disease that affects women because women have cervixes. It's like this. It's the top of your uterus. It's like it separates the vagina from the uterus. So
Okay.
it's like it's an anatomical location that can get infected with this virus and then cause abnormalities that lead to cancer. And it's totally preventable. Like a nun who's never had sex ever, she would never, ever, ever get cervical cancer.
So you're
in her
saying
life.
abstinence is the answer.
Oh God, when is that ever like a success? Yeah, we're
Okay.
humans. It's part of our
Yeah.
nature to be sexual. So yeah, condom usage would definitely prevent this transmission. Simple condom usage, and that is only done if it's taught and talked about
Yeah.
and made okay. And then also like guys have to be part of it too, because I tell you, no girl is gonna be like, can you put this on? And the guy's like, I don't know.
What is
Okay,
that?
he'd be like, what do you
You
have
brought a
that?
balloon?
Exactly. Why do you have that? You know, what is a girl doing with a condom? And I bought condoms. I'm
right,
gonna
right,
say
yeah.
that. Yeah.
What- That was a question. Like
Like you're such a slut. Why do
The-
you have a box of condoms?
the access to condoms back home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you get them from? Or in Chuk, where did you get them? Where could you? Not where did you? Sorry.
Well,
Sorry.
a friend of mine.
Seriously.
No.
I had to, yeah.
I really don't remember any stores selling
Like,
condoms
yeah.
home.
Hospital.
Hospital.
That's it.
In a jar.
In a jar, on a table, in front of everybody.
Oh yes, yes. It's so
Possibly
embarrassing.
Yeah.
expired.
So you had to do the, oh, can I have one of these gums and then run out? No, no, but
Condoms are so embarrassing.
yeah, and there's that sex shaming, right?
Stigma.
That yeah, and it's there, it exists, and then is that enough to like for cervical cancer to be the highest rate in the FSM? Yeah, I think so. Not knowing about it,
Oh,
yeah, the lack of education and
Well, let's talk about that. Sex ed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Besides school, where did you learn about it from? Nobody talked to you about it at all.
Nobody.
books.
Books. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I was a reader. That's
Yeah.
for sure. But that
So
wasn't
You're
reading
kind of just
educational books.
pretty much on your own.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I had some stupid ideas or understandings of all of that
Yeah.
when I was young. Yeah,
People think it's funny too, because like, you're a kid, you think this stupid stuff. But like, there's
Yeah.
people that actually, they don't go to school, they don't read, they don't know these things sometimes.
Mhm.
And they have these stupid ideas about
Oh
where.
yeah. Even educated people have crazy ideas about STDs.
Yeah.
It's scary the level of sex education. I mean, like the non-existent.
of, yeah.
The weirdest things that they're bacteria and
Yeah.
anyway.
So you
Yeah.
had your sex education not at home, also.
No. Yeah,
Yeah.
we were at school, in high
At
school.
school.
And it's interesting too, because the way we learned it was the classroom was split, guys and girls.
You're right.
Oh.
Talking about high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, way in high school. I mean, we had like the whole images and stuff in the books and stuff, but like when it came to actual like sex education, not just about reproduction, like sex education. We had all these stupid ass questions too all the time, but it's important for people to have that. I mean, asking the teachers is cool because I guess we had to separate the people that were related, but then we could ask all the questions after that. I guess.
Whoa.
But not a lot of schools have that.
No, I didn't have that. I went to high school back home.
Did they also like so separated guys and girls, right?
Mhm.
So the person who taught the guys, was it a guy or a girl? And then the person who taught the girls, was it a guy?
For
or a girl?
us, our bio teacher was a guy.
Okay, so who taught the girls?
I
Same
think
guy.
He did.
Okay,
I wasn't
Oh,
sure.
that's weird.
that's interesting.
I wasn't
Yeah.
there. I swear.
They couldn't find a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's the question. Why is it so hard? Not so hard, but it's difficult for sex ed to happen. I kind of have a few ideas why, but I just want to talk about that now. What do you think? What's the issue here?
I think that even though we like identify it as being introduced and wrong, it's still so much a part of how we were raised that it feels wrong and it feels embarrassing.
To talk about
Yeah.
sex with anybody?
With like, well, like to teach, like, so if I were to teach my child about sex, that's like,
Awkward.
yeah, it feels very awkward.
I think
And I wish it wasn't.
it's like I think it's because we have to talk about the nuclear family, right?
Okay.
Becoming it's starting to be the standard at home, right? So before that time, like you had your grandparents, your uncles and your aunts,
Cousins.
and then you had a lot of adults who could give you that sex talk when you needed it, right? But now it's like it's either your mom or your dad, right? And I think that has something to do with it also, because I think like your grandparents would be a little more comfortable, and then it would probably be more not as awkward. I
Is
would
it
think.
because you're like revealing like, oh, I did
This is
it.
how
That's
we
why
made
you're
you.
here. I did that.
I'm sure that's
no,
the
I don't
idea.
want to hear that. I think that has to do with it.
Yeah, but if it's like your grandparents, then it's I don't know. There's a lot a little bit more seriousness to that. I feel that way, and maybe that's one. And I feel like I'm a broken record when I keep saying religion. Yeah, you mentioned
We're
it.
looking at you, religion.
Yeah, religion had something to do with it. Like they said, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't talk about this, you shouldn't be so promiscuous, it's bad. And then there's slut shaming there. This is bad, you shouldn't do this, all this stuff.
So slut shaming, but then the guy, he's like a player. He's like
Yeah,
so
and then-
hot.
right,
He's-
yeah.
That's
It also doesn't help, like, probably the only thing we get back home is like watching movies, which really doesn't help. Like
That's true.
any Hollywood film would, talk about sex, or like the way they present it in
Yeah.
the movies is really different from what you're expecting too.
American Pie is not the best way to learn
No,
about sex.
American Pie is not
oh
the
my
best way.
god.
Yeah.
That was no. Man, that's how I.
Just kidding.
Yeah, it's
Band camp
Do you
is
think-
not all about.
Do you think public health back home has done some pretty good work to inform the public about it?
I'm not too familiar.
I'm not too familiar either.
Then
but
is that a
I-
failure then?
But
That's
I've
a good point.
heard I've heard really good things about public health. It's just I've never utilized them.
Because it's a public health issue, I think.
Yeah.
It is.
It's just people are not getting informed. People are not sitting down with the right people.
It's
I mean,
tough.
A lot of the health things that I remember seeing growing up, like posters and flyers and stuff, usually came from like organizations, I think,
Outside of
outside of public health and the hospital system. Like people like Clark and Keitani, Ship Hoops, did a lot of tobacco awareness, and they went to schools to talk about it. And we see a lot of that, but like not much coming from the government side. So
this is Chuk specifically.
yeah, this is talking about truth, but for me growing up, those are the things that really stuck to me. Is like outside organizations are doing more work to promote health, exercise, and eating, healthy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You always get so depressed.
Yeah, it's depressing.
But I think it's really important that we are talking about this, and I think it's very important for all of you to talk about this too.
Yeah.
Everyone at home watching, listening.
Get involved.
Yeah. It's a difficult conversation. Would you guys? How would you talk to your own kids about it? if
My
you
own
had to?
kids, damn, Russ.
I don't know because I never got to talk to, so like I don't know how to go about things like this. But
I'm sure there's like a lot of resources out there.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
I feel like it's gonna be different by the time, like for us.
Yeah.
I have a daughter, and she's like of another generation already. It's not the same as it was. So when I talk to her about things and it's weird, I just say, okay, this is going to be really weird. So just bear with me for a second. And I get it over with. But I do want to do it because I want to be the one to control this information.
Right.
Yeah.
Great point. Yeah.
And I want her to be able to come to me if she has any questions. That's important for me. But that's like, yeah, that does nothing to address
That's great.
problems that are happening.
You want to establish that comfort.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like it's weird. It's gonna be weird, but do it anyway. That's what I tell her.
I think it's easier for those living out here.
Yeah, it's true too, though. But yeah, if you're watching, it's gonna be weird, but
It's gonna be
Have
so
that.
weird,
important.
but it's really important, and it is a really big problem, cervical cancer. And when I first saw this article that was like really short, and it just kind of like put out these summaries of the article, I got really upset because I didn't like how it was written. But I read a better article about what they were doing, the cancer research, the one that you recently posted, and I see where they're going, and I'm very glad that they're looking at cervical cancer. It's really it's a big problem.
real quick.
Yeah.
Women's health, like in Pohnpei, or is it like easy to get access to that
Oh
kind of
my
stuff?
God, thank you so much for reminding me. Yeah, so the thing about cervical cancer is it's totally treatable. It's totally preventable with screening. So to get screened, someone has to do a vaginal examination, which is never comfortable for any woman. Even if it's from a woman and you've done it a million times, no, you don't want to be examined there. I mean, how would you feel about a proctological examination if you had to do that every year from like when you start becoming sexually active?
I know some people would be pretty excited about it.
It's just really, so there's that already. And then factor in the male doctors that are everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, I can speak very personally about this. I mean, I have to travel here to Hawaii to get a pap smear. In the past, that's how it's been done. So the test is called a pap smear.
But it's available, yeah.
It is available. So the test is available, but the actual testing of the cells is done at a laboratory here, in Hawaii. And so that costs money. The shipping is a big problem if you live in Micronesia as it is. So there are all kinds of things that prevent people from having good screening, access to screening and stuff like that. And then if you do get a bad result, then what are you going to do next? You have to.
How long do you have to wait for that?
Yeah. Exactly. So it depends where you go.
So you're just waiting for
something like
weeks.
regularly, like if you do it here.
Here, you would hear back within like a week or a couple of weeks.
Probably a month if you're at
So a
home.
month or two.
Yeah, sure. If
And
if things
something
can
could have
get
been
lost,
done
it could have
within-
gone bad. Like the kits, I don't know. There are all kinds of newly developed technologies with these tests, and I don't know what kind of things they have at public health or.
Well, since we're talking about public health and women's health issues, like, how is the service, like, besides just the pap? Is it easy? You don't have to talk about it. Is it easy to get like the pill?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think,
Birth control.
I know a lot of people who are on it, so I think yes. However, what they're on, I don't know if it's
This
really
is in
good.
Pohnpei we're talking about.
Yeah.
What about in Chu, guys? I mean,
I know it's available, but there's still that shaming
stigma.
there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like if you have it, then they're gonna start talking about you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, why did she do that? Is she like always going around.
I think it used to be like that a while ago, but
over in
not
Pompe.
anymore. Yeah.
I think it's still like that in Chub. I think so.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we need a cultural revolution. Yeah, we need to change the way we think.
I
We need
think,
to grow up.
when we talk about these cultural revolutions, a lot of people are thinking like, oh, we're gonna lose our culture.
Yeah.
No.
But I think it's important to say we're trying to
I'm not saying that
to
at all.
grow.
We're trying
within
to
our
adapt our
culture,
culture. Yeah.
Mm.
It needs to be updated.
Yeah, because the people are changing.
Yes.
And if the culture doesn't change, then they're not going to want to be a part of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a great point. Yeah.
What about those people that say just wait until we're gone and then
And then change it after
Yeah.
we're gone.
Oh, wait, I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know.
That's difficult. That's hard, man.
I don't like that.
You don't like that?
No.
Yeah. That's difficult because what you're referring to is the older generation saying, like, wait until we're gone and then you can start changing things.
Shut up.
But
let
don't
the
change.
adults-
Yeah, don't change anything that we've put in place. Uh,
I mean, you're not gonna be in this country like we are.
yeah.
The younger people will be. Our kids will be.
That's another conversation that's important to have, right? You need to have that conversation of,
What are we leaving?
yeah, what are you leaving behind? And that stuff must have made sense back in your days, but now it doesn't anymore. And things need to change.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But I think it's been really good to have Natasha here.
Yeah, I didn't know a lot of this.
Three guys just talking about, especially all this women stuff. Like,
Yeah, and, I would get really angry if I saw three guys talking about cervical cancer. I would get so angry and I'd be like commenting.
Yes,
because
Sammy, jeez.
it's a gender issue. It is.
Yeah,
I got really excited. Not excited. I got angry. Not angry.
yeah. I
Oh,
was
these
like,
words
what
are
is
wrong.
this? Like, what is
Yeah.
this cervical cancer thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of difficult for us especially too, because there's a lot of issues to talk about, especially women, and for three guys to be talking about it, it's kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
so we're glad we have you to talk with us.
You guys are awesome. You guys are doing really well.
Hopefully, we can get some more women on our panel too.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Yeah, and we can have some more
Some fresh minds.
better discussions. And everybody watching, we want your opinions too. If you're in Hawaii and you want to come and join us,
Yes.
please send us a message.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you, even if you disagree with us.
Oh, even better.
Especially
Yeah,
These
even better.
guys love it when you disagree with them.
Yeah, I love that shit.
Which is
Like,
amazing. I get upset when people don't agree with me. Like,
I get
I
upset
liked.
too, but I like that getting upset because it challenges you and it shapes
you
the way you
think,
think.
yeah.
it does. It does.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with entertaining an idea.
Right. And then at the end of the day,
Changing your
you know
mind.
that you're right. So no, okay. So I think we covered all of the
Yeah,
topics.
it was a really good conversation this time. I hope
Yes.
everybody at home enjoyed.
Want me to just swim through them really quickly and
Mhm.
check the description below for links, so you can read the articles that we mentioned. So we started off with drought conditions. It's going to extend. Seems like it's getting worse.
Boil your water.
Yeah, take care. And then we went to the Micro Festival, Celebrate Micronesia, that happened here in Honolulu.
Mhm.
We had a great time. It was amazing.
Good job.
So many didn't agree with the performances, but overall, we had a great time. It was good, right?
Yes.
Next thing we talked about was no women in FSM's legislative branch in Congress. Should we have 4 extra seats just for women? Is that sexist? Is that wrong? Should we have a cultural revolution? What's going on? Do you agree, disagree?
Revolution.
Yeah. Next thing, UH getting cervical cancer research funding, 5.5 million. Sex education in the islands, specifically FSM. Why are we not having this discussion? It's embarrassing. It's awkward. Should it be? Can it be? Should it still be?
Let's talk about sex.
Yes. Okay. And that's it. Any final thoughts?
I don't know, something just quickly on the Micronesian Festival, but the performances, yeah, some of them we kind of question it, but in a way, I just realized I saw it as it's a reflection of the new generation growing up here. It's a mix of things, and I guess this celebration, since now it's annual, it's just a way for the newer, younger generation to finally we have a place to showcase ourselves. So
Yep.
I guess it's more for the future than anything of like preservation of culture.
If I could just add to that too.
Right.
I know we mentioned this that Yamase was there with her art. I just want to say how cool it was
Yeah,
that it was charcoals,
it was all charcoal.
and they were really good, and she was selling them.
I tried to purchase one.
I think it was cool just to see an artist
Yeah.
Yes.
having stuff for sale.
That's another conversation.
She actually has a Facebook page, so you should go like it. I believe it's the Sei Yamase artist.
We'll have the link down there.
We'll have that, yeah, the link down there.
Yeah.
And yes, follow her too. And I think she'll be at an upcoming event pretty soon. And
This summer.
this summer, yeah.
Mm.
And I think there's a new Micronesia media outlet, like artists and magicians and all that. There's
Magician.
No, magicians.
Musician. Man, I want to see a Micronesian magician.
Anyways, pretty much like a group of
They're
artists.
called. They make money disappear.
Congressional fund.
I think that's happening soon. Like they're starting to, not big. Oh my gosh, sorry, I'm really tired. They're trying to get people together to have a Micronesian art group.
So it's like an arts
future-
festival.
Pretty much.
Cool.
What about tattoos?
Yes, I think
That's
that's
not
part
art.
of it.
No.
All right. Well, is that it?
I think that's
Oh,
everything.
well, for me, I just
Great.
want to add to the Micronesian Festival. Another huge benefit that I saw from it was like the pride that we had. Yeah, because we've been needing something like that here in Hawaii. I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. I mean, I was looking over my shoulder a couple of times, just like waiting for something to happen. I don't know, maybe in the future, but we're still kind of unknown. And it was a really good way to show, especially younger people. You guys noticed like more younger people were there.
Right, yeah. It's a good point.
Yeah, that we're all there and we're showing up to support each other and be proud of your auntie who's dancing crazy. That's how we are. We like good music and
To celebrate.
we like
Micronesia.
that was the really great thing for me.
Same here. I think that's it for today. I want to remind everybody watching that these are all just our opinions that we're sharing here.
Yes.
Right? And they're not, they're not worth anything.
Nothing.
So don't sue us. Please enjoy our videos. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys next time.